if this happened to America, we would not like it for anyone to tell us to stop to the efforts to find the terrorists. We would find them no matter who was telling us to stop, and we would make sure that all the hostages are released. I do not understand why Joe Biden and this administration is pressuring Israel. And let's be very clear, Bianca, they are pressuring Israel, and Israel has no choice but to stay very close to the United States in this moment. And we are, the United States government, pressuring Israel to cut deals. What does that mean? Israel had to go into its prisons to find 150 people who were convicted of crimes, brutal crimes in some instances, to exchange 50 innocent people, 50 of the 200. Yeah. This is so outrageous that we pressured these people. And by the way, let me finish by saying that, of course, we're thankful for 50 families, but governments like Israel and the United States have a responsibility to make sure that we don't have future hostages, that we don't up the ante on the head of these individuals. They have to make decisions so that Hamas is not encouraged by this 150 hostages that are left to somehow up the ante and ask for something else. This is outrageous, and it's going to make us less safe.
That's right there. That's a criticism. And also, Doug, the criticism that we'll see ramped up attacks on all those U.S. forces. This is not a pause with Hezbollah. We also know the Houthi rebels in Yemen have just hijacked a ship, and they continue to also be, the Iranian proxy in that area. What's your take on where we are today? And dovetailing of some of the things that Ambassador Grenell said, the fact that this is a signal that we are not dealing with the most strength that we could give Israel.
I would agree. Rick is right on this, and he and I both, I think, are just similarly appalled at what we're seeing here. But my question is just look at the math here. 50 for 150. You've still got 150 hostages taken by just thugs who went across and killed 2,000 plus people, butchered them in their homes, and they took 200, and with complete complicity to many of it was living in Gaza. And we're doing a 50 to 150 swap. I mean, if you take the math out there, I mean, that's another, almost 600 people for 200. I mean, again, I'm not sure what the difference is. Why not a 50 to 50 swap if you're going to, be forced into doing something like this? But I'm more concerned a lot about what you just said is recently the Houthis in Yemen, again, a country that is absolutely devastated, is now flying people. They're flying terrorists onto ships to hijack ships. We're seeing them shoot intercontinental ballistic missiles. We're seeing the Hezbollah forces. Again, all of this points back to Iran. So I think, like Rick said, I'm concerned with the more stability of this region. Where does it lead next? Now, look, my heart bleeds and hurts for those that are captured hostage. Sure. But it also then, as was said, where does this lead to for others in this process?
One note here, well stated, Doug. February 6, 2021, the Biden administration lifted the designation of the Iranian-backed Houthis in Yemen as a global terrorist organization. John Kirby, as of yesterday, saying they're going to re-examine that. Rick?
I mean, look, this is way too late. This whole administration has been weak from the beginning. But let's be clear about what just happened. Joe Biden caved to the squad, to the radical left squad who was calling for a pause. He caved to them. And I just want to be very clear to anyone who's watching who supports Israel, whether you're a Jewish American, whether you're a Muslim American that understands that Jews, Muslims, and Christians all live peacefully in Jerusalem, whether you're a Christian that is praying for the peace of Israel, you have to speak up because your government is pressuring Israel to negotiate with terrorists. We would never do it. And if anybody asked us to do it, we would tell them to go pound sand. But the fact is that Joe Biden caved to the squad and is asking Israel to negotiate with terrorists, and they have no choice because of their relationship with America. This is a really sad day for American leadership. Joe Biden has caused 2 wars, one in Ukraine and one in the Middle East, and now we're launching missile attacks back in Iraq and in Syria. We're at war again because of Joe Biden.
10 seconds left to you, Doug, and we don't know the fate of these hostages or how well this will be taken care of.
Exactly. Look, this is abhorrent that we're pressuring that Netanyahu like they need our help. But I'm also, something we haven't mentioned is the attacks on American troops in this area. We're one bad missile shot away from losing many, many more that we've already lost. And again, this will do nothing to help that.